Paul Mackenzie is a well-known pastor and the leader of the Good News International Church in Kenya, which preaches a message based on William Branham's teachings. Paul has had his fair share of difficulties, including scandals and cultism. He is noted for selflessly leading his members and inspiring many. Early years. Paul Mackenzie was born in Tennessee in the United States of America on August 1, 1972. He attended high school in Tennessee and then went on to Tennessee University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in theology. Pastor Paul Mackenzie aspired to be a full-time minister and worked as an associate in numerous congregations before being called to Ohio. He served as a senior pastor of a small church in Ohio and was influential in transforming the church into a vibrant community church. In 2001, Paul Mackenzie claimed to have received a prophetic message telling him to return to Tennessee and start his own ministry or church. After hearing God's call, Paul and his family moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee to establish his own ministry. Paul launched City Church Chattanooga in 2002, which quickly expanded to over 4,000 members. The City Church Chattanooga had a great growth, transforming into a flourishing church. The ministry touched many lives and it pioneered different programs which were aimed at feeding the homeless and providing them with shelter, while supporting missionaries locally and abroad. Paul has a net worth of over $3 million and a couple of parcels of lands he owns in Kenya. Personal life. Paul Mackenzie is married to Michelle Mackenzie and together they have 4 children. His family serves together with him in the ministry. She is passionate towards the welfare of the needy and the less fortunate. Paul Mackenzie started News International Church in 2003 at Malindi. It flourished as a small evangelical center alongside his wife Joyce Mwikamba. They then moved to a village called Migingo in Malindi, where he set up a church in a walled compound, where his family still lives to date. His wife Joyce helped in preaching as a co-pastor, and Mackenzie claimed to have power to speak to God directly. In his sermons, he claimed to deliver words as given by God himself. Paul Mackenzie is also known for his generous work with helping the needy and those who are disadvantaged. He has given back to the community through his charitable works. Paul has a foundation reputable for providing healthcare and education services to the underprivileged children. The foundation has also built schools and clinics, which has improved countless number of lives. Scandals and controversies. When it was revealed that Paul Mackenzie's church was fooling his followers, the police decided that it was a cult religion. In order to see paradise, Paul encouraged his church to fast, which resulted in the deaths of his disciples due to lack of food. Many graves have been discovered allegedly holding the bodies of believers killed by starvation. Some of the rescued followers even refused to be rescued, claiming they wanted to go to paradise as their preacher had promised. Mackenzie bought a TV station in 2016 when one of his followers, Kennedy Mwacharo, sold his land in Lamu for a throwaway price of 20 million shillings and gave over all the money to him, abandoning his family and obligations. Back then, the property was worth more than 100 million shillings. Several cases of people selling their properties and donating the proceeds to Mackenzie's Shakahola Church would then follow. The most recent being Betty, an air hostess who quit her 11-year job, divorced her husband and sold her lifelong investments for a throwaway price of 7 million shillings, donating the proceeds to Mackenzie's Shakahola Church. Betty is said to be among the remains discovered in Shakahola's burial sites. Mackenzie is said to have used the money Kennedy Mwacharo provided him to acquire land in Malindi and Mombasa, as well as 2 vehicles and to create a TV station. Mackenzie addressed a large number of people through his TV station, and his teachings were mostly on the end times, the evilness of the Western modes of life such as medical services, education, cuisine, sports, and music. Mackenzie dwelled on the futility of life and emphasized the hereafter. He spoke on Christ's second coming, which he said would happen shortly. His time scale for the second coming was always shorter than a year. He also concentrated on vengeance that awaited those who were still living at the time. This triggered Dr. Ezekiel Mutua through KFCB ordered the TV station immediate closure in 2018. A year after, Mackenzie and his wife were charged with religious radicalization, knowing and unlawfully promoting extreme belief systems for the purpose of facilitating ideologies to advance religious and social change. Mackenzie made headlines again in 2019 when 4 siblings from Mumias left home for his church and went missing. 3 of them eventually resurfaced. This, combined with the efforts to dismantle an unlicensed school he ran in his courtyard, forced him to relocate from Migingo to Shakahola. He closed the church, sold some of his vehicles, and then purchased Shakahola land with the intention of creating agricultural business. People who went to meet him at his previous church in Migingo were sent to Shakahola property, and according to neighbors, a large number of people went there but just a few returned. Mackenzie had fasting supervisors who would keep an eye on the miserable folks starving to death in the wilderness. These are the same folks that work as his undertakers. While leaving Migingo and shutting his church, he allegedly sold the TV station equipment and one of his vehicles to Pastor Ezekiel of New Life, as well as some of his evangelism instruments. It should be noted that Pastor Mackenzie does not reside in Shakahola with his family. Instead, the family resides in Migingo village in a guarded property where he had previously resided. While he deceived others and other children into dying in order to meet Jesus, his family is making the best of what others provide them as they prepare for the holy journey. Remember that the majority of these people are fasting in the wilderness all day and all night, despite the hard weather and other factors. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, kindly subscribe. See you in the next video.